In undertaking the research for my new book, Food for a Better Future, I had the opportunity to speak with Tristan Harris, who's the co-CEO of Harris Farm Markets, a retail chain of 26 food stores throughout New South Wales that was started in 1971 and remains a family-owned business today. The reason why I was interested in talking with Tristan is because I believe Harris Farm Markets provide a good example of one of the key ideas in my book, which is the idea that food businesses create food-centered values that help to take their brand from a Me Too positioning in the marketplace where they don't stand out, it's quite competitive, to a position which shows that their brand is much more meaningful with consumers and customers, and therefore creating trust and connection. And that in turn helps to set the business up for a better future in the long term. So in talking to Tristan, their core corporate value of fairness comes through in their consumer-facing value and umbrella, which is we're for the greater goodness. And I think that's a good demonstration of the idea of food businesses doing more than simply selling food and having a much broader outward-looking focus. And by standing for the greater goodness, it's translating through into actions that are meaningful for consumers. So in the case of Harris Farm Markets, we've seen this for the greater goodness come through in them taking a stand against single-use plastic bags and being the first food retailer in New South Wales to make that stand and take that commitment. We've also seen them take a stand against selling $1 a litre milk because it didn't fit their values of returning a fair price to the farmer. They also created their Imperfect Picks range as a way to sell fruit and veg that would otherwise be thrown away and therefore not returned anything to both their business or the farmer, and also as a way to provide a lower price for customers, so therefore giving them a win-win-win scenario. And it's a similar thing with their Curious Cuts meats. So I had a great chat with Tristan and I learnt a lot from speaking with him, and here are just a couple of questions that I was able to ask him and capture on film towards the end of my time with him. So I'm here with Tristan Harris, who's the co-CEO of Harris Farm Markets, and we've been talking a bit about your food values and your company values. So how important are your values and what are your core values as a business?
Our values are incredibly important to us, both as a business but also as a family. And as a family-owned business, we very much have a blend of the two. And when we set out to write down what our values were, we started with the issue of fairness, and that everything in the business needed to be fair. And sharing a job with two of my brothers, that's pretty important. So on that basis of fairness for our team, fairness for our customers, fairness for our suppliers, we believe that pretty much everything springs from that. And then when it comes to our customer values, we want our customers to enjoy shopping for food. We think that there is an enormous opportunity to be something that people don't hate, which seems pretty straightforward, but food shopping can be a bit of a drag, and we want to make it a much more enjoyable experience.
Yeah. And how do you see, I guess, the future of food retailing? It's a fairly, I guess, competitive space.
Really competitive space. I think sort of globally the average earnings of a retailer is around 5%. Woolworths was shot down for getting up to 8%. So it's a really competitive market, but I think you're about to see an enormous change in food retailing, in-store retailing in particular. I think the first wave we'll see is a much more rapid shift into online for a little while, and then I think you'll see a real comeback from the bricks and mortar sector. Often it'll be the same players, but they'll come back with much better, more technology embedded into the shopping and more information available to the consumer, and all of the things that technology can add to make it a more convenient and better fun place to shop.
Yeah, okay, that's great. Appreciate your time. Thanks a lot.
Thanks, Sharon.